Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Money Cure podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Sean Robert Grant. Yes, Reverend, this time around. Hope all is fantastic, guys. Hope you are doing very, very, very well. And you had a great weekend. I am so excited because I am vibrant. I am healthy. My energy is through the roof, and I'm just excited, to really get back into being creative and using that creativity to help people who are in need of it, right? And who are willing to take it for what it is. And so I'm very happy about that. And today I've got a special message. Special episode. It's simple, yet it's highly effective. And the truth of the matter is most people refrain from doing it because what they feel is this. They feel because they don't see the results of it right away that it's not working. Okay? But that couldn't be further from the truth. All right. And what we're talking about, let's just get into it. The title of today's episode, the topic of today's episode as well is blessing your money with appreciation. Right. And we're basically giving you something that is truly a secret that actually is not really a secret. It's just that it seems so simple. People sort of just dismiss it from being anything that could be conducive to making progress, to expansion, to, becoming richer, wealthier, more prosperous, right? So what tends to happen is this, and I'm talking about blessing your money every chance that you get, every opportunity that you get. That's what I'm referring to. I had this idea because I had been listening to Ken Honda a while back. And so if you know Ken Honda is a Japanese guy who's written hundreds upon hundreds of books in Japan. And he does this thing called Happy Money. And he calls it, arigato your money. And so I thought, wow, that's really cool, just to say thank you. And I tried it. And I still do it to this day, and it works really well. But then I started thinking, instead of just arigatoing, nothing against that, my money or our money, why don't we just bless it, right? Why don't we just bless it? And so I got this idea. I'm like, you know what? I got a podcast about this because this has the ability to change the financial lives of anyone listening and anyone willing to implement it, right? So when we think of blessing, when we think of blessed, what does that mean, right? And so I got curious because I have an intuitive definition of it, but I also wanted to see what the dictionary said. And the dictionary pretty much watered it down in a sense of leaving it something as it relates to religion. And I didn't care for that too much. I mean, I respect it because that's what they feel, but I didn't care for it in the sense that it didn't really add up to me from the standpoint of this makes sense, right? It didn't really it didn't resonate with me to the point of, oh, okay, this is the definition of blessing, right? So I dug deeper and I thought to myself, okay, when I think of blessing, I think of something lifted up. When I think of blessing, I think of something that is held in the highest regard, something that is inundated with divine power, something that is submerged in the truth that is the God presence, not God the man, God the woman, God the essence, right? And something that is filled with enormous love and light. That's my definition of blessing, right? So what I'm ultimately doing to kind of compact that, because I said a lot there, but kind of compact that, what I'm doing is whenever I bless something or someone, I'm filling it. I'm asking for it to be filled with unlimited divine love and light, right? And what that means is raising it up to the highest vibration possible in this physical existence, in this existence period, right? So I want you to think about what that means as it relates to your money, right? And how that can be of benefit to you when you decide to do this. And you can start right now. You can start pulling the money out of your wallet and you can say, I bless you. I bless you immensely. I bless you completely. I bless you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, right? I bless you. And the trick, not the trick, but the truth is to feel into it when you bless it, right? When you give somebody a blessing, say when you bless your kids or when you bless, like, whoever it is, whoever it may be, when you bless people, you make sure they feel the energy of that blessing coming from you, right? Because that becomes the most important aspect of it, right? You just don't say it. You've got to feel it. And how do you feel it? You take a deep breath and you focus on the idea of blessing for just a few moments. And you just say, I bless you, right? So the other day I was doing this. It was really, really quite amazing. Really, like a really amazing experience. Sign into my accounts, look at all my accounts, look at the money that I have in there, look at my credit cards, available balance that I have on the credit cards and stuff like that. And I just say, I bless you. I bless you in the highest regard every day of the week, every month, every year. I bless you. And I just went with it. And what happened was initially there was a deep, deep sense of peace, right? And then I moved from peace into appreciation and just being thankful, like really expressing that gratitude for everything that had transpired at that point. And it just became something so marvelous and so magical that I'm like, I have to share this. I have to share this with you. So this sort of has become a habit. Get a little water there. And it's a habit because even if we took 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however much out of the day, you only really need 5 minutes. And you just blessed it. Or anytime money showed up in your life, right? So I do this thing, if you listen to the episodes past, I do this thing where I will place money like in places that are completely visible to me all day long. Like I got two $50 bills on my refrigerator, right? And most people say, oh, that's a waste. But no, it's actually a reminder. I just got a check from SAG-AFTRA for a movie I did a while back. And it's a minimal check. But I said, you know what? I'm going to take it and stick it on the fridge too, because it's a reminder. It's a reminder to always bless the money that I have that's in my life, right? And every time I go to the refrigerator, every time I look back, like I'm looking back right now, I bless that money, right? I bless that money and I lift it up in the highest regard possible. And I give thanks that it truly, truly is something that is so wonderful, something that allows me to do so much good in my life and the lives of others. But when I begin to bless it, and I begin to appreciate it, the energy behind it begins to expand. All right? The energy behind it begins to expand. And what I mean by that is the energy behind the blessing is opening up a path in life for not only more money to come in, but for you to have the money to do what it is that you desire to do, right? There's something so divine. There's something so divine about blessing stuff that not only expands it, not only increases it, but allows you to have wisdom with that multiplication, allows you to be in situations where all of a sudden it seems like experiences and circumstances are running you down to help you to keep more of your money, to use it as you choose to, as opposed to as you have to, right? So like I said in the beginning, this is a simple technique, but it's one that if we did for the rest of our lives, and it doesn't stop at money. You know, I'm talking about money for the sake of this podcast being the money cure, but it works with everything. Bless your kids, bless your spouse, bless your computer, bless your cars, bless your clothes, bless your health, bless everything, right? Everybody you come up to. I had a friend. He's a really good actor at the time. I mean, this guy literally, I think he booked like 35 roles in 1 year in Louisiana. And I don't know if he's still acting or not, but he was really good. I mean, it just seemed like he just kept booking. And I remember meeting this guy for the first time. It was on the set of Jonah Hex. And sweetest guy ever, nicest guy, you know, like just had a good head on his shoulders. And he comes up and he shakes my hand. He says, "Peace and blessings." And he said that, and immediately it was almost like there was a jolt of really, really positive, loving energy that came through, just came through my entire being. And I had never had somebody do that ever before. And I realized he did it to everybody. He said, "Peace and blessings." Right? And I can't say for sure, but I almost guarantee you the reason this guy was so successful was that there was a lot of reason that had a lot to do with it. I guess is what I'm trying to say. His success, a lot of his success was created by the idea that he was blessing every single person he came into contact with. Didn't matter who they were, black, white, Spanish, Indian, whatever. He was blessing everybody, right? He was blessing everyone. And it was the most profound experience, right? And so I'm like, what difference could that make? And see, he added the peace to it. Like, what if we added the peace to it? What if we did that to our money? What if we did that to our cash flow? Even as cash went out, I remember, paying the rent yesterday, and I just started blessing the money that I'm using to pay my rent. I was just blessing it, just sending it love, just appreciating it, saying thank you that I get to live here in this paradise for another month. Thank you, and thank you that you've come into my life so easy, because money is just coming so easily now because I've gotten, the mental aspect and the emotional aspect of it, in a good place. And so, but I just started thinking, like, if we did that all of the time, every chance that we get, even when we find pennies, nickels, and dimes. I love finding pennies, nickels, and dimes and quarters on the ground because I bless it, because that's money that's blessing me, right? It's so funny because people used to make fun of me for doing that. And then, around Florida, there's some parking meters where you can't use your card, so you need coins. So I got all these coins that I use to pay for the meter. I was like, you know what? I knew these coins were going to bless me at some point, So, but all things aside, it's really important to be able to stand in true, pure, unadulterated blessing, right? In the process of blessing your money, okay? So before we get going, because I wanna make sure that you can implement this into your life, right? So Wayne Dyer wrote a book, and Wayne Dyer wrote a ton of books. I think it's called "You Got to Believe It to See It." I get completely turned around with this title. It never really processes. So maybe I have to go pull it out and actually see what the title is. But I think it is "You've Got to Believe It to See It." And he talks about focusing on, so he says, if you're in debt, let's say you have $500 principal. Principal is the money that you have to use for yourself, and you have $5,000 in debt. He says, if you focus on the principal, that focus will expand the amount of money you have. So I'm going to take a page out of his book, and I'm going to tell you this. If you bless the money you have, and I'm going to add something to it, in addition to the money that's going out, right? I know people are just, it takes some growth. It takes some time to get to a point where you really enjoy paying bills. But I promise you, when you get to that point, you'll know exactly what I mean. But when you get to that place, or you get to that place now today, where you not only bless, focus, and appreciate the money you have, but you bless, you focus, you bless, and you appreciate the money that's going out to pay your bills, right? Because when we really think about what our bills are there for and what they give us, it really is a blessing. I used to despise paying my phone bill, but then I realized there's no way I could stay connected to people if I didn't have a cell phone, right? Maybe I could do it on a landline, but not like I can't look, it was such a blessing when used moderately and properly, right? Same with the power. You don't realize how important the power of the water is until either of them go out. Then you're like, oh gosh, we're in the Stone Age. Like, what do we do? Right? So my point is, you get to that place where you realize that it's such a blessing and you're happy. You're happy to circulate that money to these companies, right? And something happens, right? Something happens. I can remember praying just to have money to pay my bills on time. And then I had that, and then I moved into that gratitude, and I moved into that blessing. And before I knew it, not only did I have enough money to pay my bills, but I had an extremely abundant, unlimited amount of money to do whatever else that I had to do, right? And it's because I took the time to bless my money. And I still do to this day. And I just did it a few minutes ago. And I urge you to do it. And I promise you, try this for a week. I mean, you should do it for the rest of your life, but try it for a week. And what I want you to do is really get focused on it. Get into the moment. Take a couple deep breaths and really focus on blessing your money. And I promise you guys, I promise you, it's going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference internally first. And then you're going to see it affect what's on the outside, because what's on the outside is basically just inside of you anyway. But I want you to do that, and it's going to blow your socks off. I'm telling you. And this is so simple, but that's the nature of the universe, giving you something so simple that's so effective, because it wants you to get it right. It doesn't want you to struggle. It wants you to get it right. Okay? All right. With that being said, I bless you I appreciate you. I lift you up in the ultimate love and light. And I thank you for joining me today. And I bless you with lots of money, because I know with lots of money, you can do all the things that you desire to do in your life and have the resources to be able to enable yourself to really express who you are. And that's what we come to this life for. So I encourage you to do that. And I wish you the absolute best, guys. Have a wonderful Monday. We will talk soon. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.